Good morning, Morning Musings with Melinda. Yesterday, I talked to you about some of my personal journey with my shadow side and talked about my struggle with my own self-image and weight, not really intending for it to be about weight at all, but more or less intending it to be about interpersonal relationships and intimacy between you and your partner and between you and yourself. And so if you go back and look at that one from yesterday, you'll see that the point of that was actually about acknowledging one's struggles, issues, shadow side, and kind of recognizing it in a way that you can create intimacy for yourself and for you and your partner. And today, as you know, my topic is sex and sitting pretty. You know, with the Me Too movement and with what we're seeing about Epstein, we could easily make that about a sexual issue. But, you know, molestation and that kind of thing has absolutely nothing to do with sex. Actually, it's all about power and control. And the energy of sexuality and the energy of spirituality is much more of a close connection than you might realize. And so I thought it was important, since we're seeing the negative and the shadow side of what we consider sexuality paraded all over the paper. And we see that men that have power and control, and maybe women too, have had some of those issues where they use it in a way in which it sexualizes people that they shouldn't. So it's time that we saw sex as the truly sacred art that it is. It's a deep meditation, a holy communion, and a dance with a force of creation by Marcus Allen. Actually, the word libido means a life force. And so really, sexuality and spirituality is the same energy. You know, I am all too often dealing with parents who have lost children, which is the worst and most terrible thing that can happen. Or they're working with children who, I'm talking about adult children who may have depression or a drug addiction or an alcohol addiction, or there's a lot of stress on the family because of something within it. And what I have found with people who have lost their children is if they have an intimate connection with each other, they know how to be intimate, then they grieve in tandem with each other. But if they're not intimate, then they don't grieve in tandem with each other, and it usually, breaks you apart. So I just wanted to talk about, the words for spirituality are love and God and oneness and compassion and grace, beauty and light. And, we can achieve all of those energies too when we have that divine connection physically with our partner. Now, I'm not going to get into tantric sex and all of that kind of stuff. I just wanted to talk to you about it being part of a healthy energy, a healthy beingness, that same vibrational frequency of spirituality and connectiveness comes through a healthy connection with your partner, as well as, a good meditation. And, having a good sexual connection has obvious good things to it for your health. It keeps your immune system humming. It lowers your blood pressure, it improves your sleep, it lowers stress. There are physical force energies with it that help you. And the creative chakra and the sexual chakra, which is your navel chakra, is the same chakra. And anytime you have a chakra that's blocked, then you can't get into the essence truly of who you are as a spiritual being. But there's this gentleman by the name of David Carr who wrote about this in such a manner that it makes so much sense to me that I wanted to share it with you this morning. And he says that he works on the premise that sexuality and spirituality are intricately interwoven, that if one is impoverished, then the other one is warped. In other words, you have to do a totality of your whole beingness in order to be in your divine essence, because it's a gift that God gave you. And that it's critically important to have that connection between your journey towards God and your journey towards coming to terms with who you are as a sexual being and your embodiment. Remember that you are a spiritual being having an earthly experience, and that's part of it. So both sexuality and spirituality require space in one's life to grow. Neither flourishes amidst constant exhaustion or busyness. It's about taking time for your spirituality and taking time for the essence of your being. And both require an openness, being deeply affected by someone outside oneself, whether it be your loved one or whether it be with God. And both involve your whole self. And finally, at their most intense, both spirituality and sexuality involve an interplay between closeness and distance. So neither sexuality nor spirituality work if one is seeking a constant high. Meaning, I talk about the Fruit Loopers and Wind Chimers of the world, that you're in a constant state of your spirituality in such a way that you're not grounded enough to see how the universe really talks to you, and that Freud says sometimes a cigar is just a cigar, that kind of thing. Or if you're constantly seeking a high in a way in which you're inappropriate with your sexuality. So it's a mistake to believe that everyone is feeling a constant mystical connection with God, because we're on the earth plane. And it's a mistake to believe that everybody is in a constant state of connectiveness with their partner, because we're on the earth plane. We're human beings. But when we work on both those lower body chakras and their higher body chakras, we weave them together in such a manner that it allows the spirituality and the earth plane energy to move in balance. And that is what the earth plane is for, is to balance those energies. So don't neglect your partner in a physical way. If you don't have a partner, don't neglect yourself in a physical way. And remember that because we have a lot of malarkey happening with, I'm part of the Me Too movement, don't get me wrong, but because we have a lot of stuff being thrown at us in the media about inappropriate behavior, I don't want you to miss that sexual energy and spiritual energy is the same energy. I hope you have a fabulous day. And if you missed yesterday's, please look at it again. It was really about intimacy and oneness with self and with partner, as is today's musing. Have a great day.